Hello. The state of the country is absolutely appalling right now. We have this Muslim Pakistani gang rape scandal going around. Pretty much all the white girls in the country have been raped at some point. Children are targeted. Women are, you know, sex is demanded of women by newly arrived, black and Middle Eastern men. Um, off them, and if they don't comply, they are, threatened, coerced, bullied into doing so. Underage girls are going to school and learning to be Muslims. Um, the whole of the country is furious. It's very difficult to work in an office as a white male with any kind of decent morality. Um, you can't earn money without being exposed to the sexual abuse, coercive sexual relationships that are happening in all the offices. The technology companies are just a nightmare of sex, corruption. The national lottery is rigged. The economic data is not reliable. Our economy could be 20% smaller than we think because there's these technology companies that are massively overinflated because we've got such no law and order, 100% corruption in the police, 100% corruption in the NHS and social services. Um, People are being tortured in mental health wards. People are being tortured in hospitals by being left in completely unacceptable states. Um, the young female white girl born in this country today has a terrible future ahead of her, and I just don't see any way out of it other than clearing London of a huge proportion of its population, as well as Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Leicester, towns like Rotherham and Oldham. How can you not clear them of um, the Muslim population? Um, Seeing as the corruption in the local councils, councillors are paedophiles, politicians in Parliament are paedophiles. There's um, a real argument that we shouldn't be an ally of the United States anymore because we're clearly a Muslim country, that's very corrupt. The white British people are now second class citizens and are subjugated, enslaved. They need to be liberated. It's a truly appalling state of affairs. I'm scared. I'm scared about the security situation. I'm scared about my ability to work and live. I don't think you can realistically, um, you know, sell and buy property in London at the moment. I mean, everybody wants to leave essentially because the situation is just so bad. I have real concerns about the legitimacy of the British Parliament after the um, uh, you know gang Pakistani gang rape inquiry vote went in my view in a completely unacceptable direction. The BBC's coverage of which has been appalling and almost racist and almost pro-predatory paedophile gang rape cover up, essentially. The BBC, needs to be purged of a lot of its staff. The NHS, the police, they all need to be purged. The civil service needs to be purged of a lot of its staff. Parliament is not getting the information it needs in order to really do what it needs. And I don't see how, as a country, we can continue to go on like this. I think the remigration is is necessary. Soon, like this year, 2025. Without that, we have no economy, no children's future. Um, our culture is being overrun by really weird um, sex ideas. Basically, it's a free for all for sex. As I say, a Muslim man can walk up to a white underage girl and demand sex, and they go with them, and then they're vulnerable, and potentially if they don't have a support network, or quite frankly, the police are not helping. They 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 need to be supported, and they're not being. Um, it couldn't be more bleak here in the UK and London. It's potentially civilization ending. Western civilization is under threat. Britain is a failed state, and I really don't see any future other than just, you know, moving to a small rural British town where there's no jobs, or going overseas. And the problem with overseas is their cities are exactly the same. Paris and New York and all of those cities. So then you're saying, well, then where do you go? To a small town somewhere, um, in another country like Spain or Portugal. I mean, how do you earn money doing that? I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but if you're not wealthy at the moment, life in the UK is very difficult. And if a girl is having children here, having a girl be born, it's just so dangerous that, they're traumatizing, because they just know in 10, 12 years' time they're going to be getting raped by, you know, immigrants, basically. So women are choosing not to have children. Some women are being raped so much that they can't have children when they should be able to. Um, I think that the state of things is we're looking at 100% corruption, essentially a Muslim failed state with a minority white British population, and all of the apparatus of the British state needs to be, purged, reformed. The government needs to get control of the state. It needs to really get hold of its analysts and its data and understand the flow of information, because there's just so much fake information out there. Um, Everything is, fake. Everything is wrong. And if anyone calls this out, I'll be called a conspiracy theorist. And that's partially not true, because I think we've now got data for all of this. So I would call on the government to take urgent action to get control of the British state, really mobilise, and really make dramatic changes to the population of this country. There are, serious reasons that London can't continue like this. I mean, it's going to do so much harm that we'll never recover as a nation, and I really fear for the future. Thanks.